let's talk about Dumb Money. It is the film that is about GameStop stocks or stonks. I like the stock. Alan, tell us about Dumb Money, the story
Yeah,
of the movie.
the movie. Yeah. So
Okay.
essentially, the movie Dumb Money is the whole GameStop. Uh, let's see, short squeeze play. Paul Dano plays Keith Gill, who just your average investor, very bright, very talented, and he finds GameStop to be an interesting buy, and he decides to buy it, and then he goes on the internet and talks about it. Yeah, and this is and not just YouTube, but he's on Reddit with Wall Street Bets, and this is essentially he's put his money into it and finds out all these hedge funds have decided to short GameStop, meaning that if GameStop is kind of on the bubble of going into bankruptcy, and if it does, these hedge funds are going to make billions of dollars, and Keith Gill goes out on the internet, talks about it, and it just rallies the troops, and all these retail traders of us normies who are just trying to ride the backs of these hedge funds in terms of making money on the stock market. They all invest in GameStop, so it starts from a $15 stock and ultimately goes up to like $300, making people millionaires, average people millionaires, while crushing hedge funds who lost all their money in options. And so it's that story, and you know, Paul Dano's the good guy, so he's doing good guy things. Seth Rogen and Vincent D'Onofrio and Nick Offerman, they're the bad guys. They're the hedge fund managers, and that's what it is. So, let's see. I think you talked about that you like the movie.
Yeah, I really liked it just because it feels like this over the top comedy. I love Paul Dano. I do not like Pete Davidson. I just kind of
He's a
am
stunt
not
cast,
a
basically.
yeah. I mean, it's stunt casting. He's plays Paul Dano's character's brother in the film, and God, is he unlikable. He is really unlikable. I'm just frankly not a fan. That was to me the biggest miscasting. What's interesting about the film is it's an ensemble movie. So they
Yeah,
cut between Paul Dano's character. Wait, I got to get this up on the screen so I make sure that we have it. But
but it's like The Big Short. It's a take on a current event with all your favorite stars in every role.
not just that, it has America Ferrera. She plays this
Mhm.
nurse named Jennifer. Sebastian Stan is the CEO of Robinhood, which was this app that basically ripped off all of these people. But Keith Gill, which is Paul Dano's character, he's sort of like he's the sort of central point because he has this YouTube channel that shows him going on YouTube saying, I just like the stock. I like the stock. And he's rallying just average everyday people to buy the stock. It's very low and he believes in it. He gets all these people to believe in his dream. So then it becomes kind of an ensemble piece. And there's even a character, one of the characters, and these are all they're based loosely on real people because at the end of the film, they do this little montage of what happened to everybody in the film. And there's a character, Marcus, played by Anthony Ramos. I believe he was in the Transformers Rise of the Beasts.
Yes.
Yeah, so Marcus, he works at a GameStop and he has this incredibly abusive boss played by what's his name, Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan, yeah.
Oh my god, Dane DeHaan, who has like braces and he wears a mask and he's like a total nerd. Like I didn't even recognize him. Like why is that actor so recognizable? I had to look it up. But so it's an ensemble, so you see, you know, Keith Gill kind of driving it, but then they cut between all these people who watch him on YouTube. That's how they're connected, and they're all also buying into the dream, buying the stock. You see them being mocked for doing it. Like America Ferrera's character Jennifer has this friend at her work that's like, I can't believe it. You're investing all this money in this stock. You're crazy. And everyone thinks the people who believe in this dream are crazy, and then it all pays off. Almost everyone ends up becoming millionaires, or at least, if not millionaires, netting a substantial sum of money. And I really like Dumb Money feels like an indie movie, a small indie movie. It's also hour 44 minutes, so a very tolerable running time. And also what I did love, and this is getting overused in movies, but I actually don't mind it because it feels like a documentary film technique. It goes from you've got it ends with this congressional hearing, and all of this takes place during the pandemic. So people are wearing masks, they deal with that. This is the only movie, because it's a real event that took place during the pandemic. Or I'll just say our reaction to the pandemic, which was masks and whatever and separation. It shows that in the movie, and it reminded me like, oh wow, that really sucked. That really sucked. It doesn't it's not about the pandemic, it's just in the backdrop, right? It's like a movie taking place during Christmas time, right? It's in the background, it exists, it's there, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot like what that was like."
Yeah.
Transitions from the real people to real footage of the congressional hearings, real photos and videos of the people who are fictionalized in the film, the
Right.
fictionalized versions.
But also intercuts the real footage of the congressional hearings with the
Yes.
actors. So you have the real AOC cut in with, with Paul Dano and
Right.
Seth Rogen.
And I like that. I like that. So I really enjoyed this film. Strongly recommend it. It's feels like it has an ensemble, great ensemble cast. Feels like an indie film in tone, and it's the screening that I saw it at. People were laughing hysterically, maybe a little too much, but I really enjoyed it, and it's also one of those things. Anything that goes after the elites and champions people who are blue collar and working class, I'm automatically going to be predisposed to like that movie, because Hollywood does that just does not do that often enough. I believe personally, Hollywood hates the middle class. Hollywood hates blue collar workers, and Hollywood celebrates rich a-holes. Case in point,
Okay.
the popularity. Let me finish
Yeah,
this
finish it.
rant. Let me finish. The popularity of the show Succession, which I get why people like it. I don't love that show. It's about a bunch of rich a-holes. I can't relate to any of them. There is not a redeemable character in the show Succession. They're all horrible human beings with no morals or values whatsoever. And I really loved seeing people like the character of Marcus working at a GameStop. I've worked retail. I worked at a Burger King. I worked at a freaking video store all through high school and college. I worked at a video store. I was a clerk jockey. America Ferrera's character, Jennifer Campbell, she's a nurse working hard, has kids, believes in this dream of like, I might one day be rich. Paul Dano, just a humble, he's got a kid, a baby. So he's a young father, a wife who he loves, like struggling working people, contrasted with the rich a-holes played by Vincent D'Onofrio and Seth Rogen. And Seth Rogen is a horrible person in this film. His character is.
Which means this is Seth Rogen's best performance in a very long time.
It's his best performance as a horrible human being. So I'm like, wow, this is surprising. Hollywood kind of standing up for the working man, standing up for blue collar workers, standing up for the middle class. Because notice when I point this out, you don't see this. You don't see this in movies anymore. You don't see it. Literally, I believe modern Hollywood has a disdain for working everyday people. They do. Just look at the types of movies get made and the stories that get told. So Dumb Money is an anomaly. I am giving it a strong recommendation, probably 7.5 out of 10 for me. And you will have a good time at the movies. And you know what? Hour 44 minutes. Alan, what are your thoughts? It sounds like you might disagree with me.
Yeah, I disagree with you. You're completely wrong. You're completely wrong.
You?
I give this a 4 out of 10.
What?
And ironically, the reason is for exactly the same reason you brought up at the end. Hollywood hates us. Hollywood hates us. Okay, and I will lead into it with this. This movie is so pretentious. Look, Everything that happened with GameStop, the taking down of these hedge funds, I'm fully in support of that. This movie, I would much rather you watch a documentary about the actual events than watch Hollywood actors pretend to be heroes. And that's what the movie annoyed me from beginning, from frame one. You know, Paul Dano is the sympathetic hero. He's a Hollywood actor pretending to be a guy who actually took down some hedge funds. That guy is more interesting to me than watching actors portray them. It's very stereotypical the way Keith Gill is portrayed, the way the hedge fund managers are portrayed, very stereotypical. And to me, this was I think walking away from this movie, I felt like Hollywood basically, or the big corporations that run Hollywood, have basically commandeered the narrative of this story, and and so I just found it to be false and fake. Yeah, the only thing true about it are the events that actually happened, but they went in, and of the people who are supporting Keith Gill, they do the Hollywood thing and they go the woke route. So, America Ferrera, the Latin X nurse who goes in with the investments. Anthony Ramos is the Latin X, GameStop worker. You have the lesbian couple that they follow. And then remember the Asian investor? No, because there wasn't one. Uh, you know, so they go down this very woke route. I can tell you that the people who are behind Wall Street bets, I don't think diversity is the word that's going to come to mind. And yet
First of all,
this is
see, okay, sorry.
yeah, and but the thing is that when it goes into the Robin Hood thing, when Robin Hood, the CEO of Robin Hood, decided to shut down the ability to buy, um, you know, look, I'll tell you this: a lot of these actors, a lot of these people behind this movie, they were in full support of not allowing little guys like us to be involved in buying stocks and being able to take down a big hedge fund like that. So I found the entire movie false and fake, and I think to get a real sense of this story and the real sense of what they had done, go see a documentary about it. And also Wall Street Bets. Um, for some reason, this movie decides to say that Hollywood was behind Wall Street Bets and supported them. Hollywood hates Wall Street Bets because it's a typical Reddit site. And I've seen the documentaries where they're just going in and bringing up Pepe the Frog and all the conspiracies and all the racism and all that stuff. For some reason, in this movie, Hollywood has commandeered this story in order to make Hollywood look good, to make these actors look good, and quite frankly, to make the Democrats of that hearing look good as well. Um, and so I hate this movie. I cannot recommend it. There are I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are documentaries about GameStop that are much better than this.
Well, yeah, I think we reviewed it on the channel. First of all, I
Mhm.
disagree with you on many levels. One, Hollywood actors are always playing heroes in movies. This is every movie. There are protagonists and there are antagonists. Okay. So I like protagonists that are not always for every movie, but Hollywood used to champion protagonists that were clearly blue collar or working class or lower class. They don't do that as much anymore. But every movie you see will have a protagonist and an antagonist. So there, at that point, and also, I just enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing the working person, and you know what? The diversity didn't bother me. I didn't, whatever. It wasn't even that big of a thing. And also, by the way, the lesbians in the movie were two really hot girls, two really hot college girls. So
Yeah.
it basically broke the cliche of how lesbians are portrayed sometimes, which are mannish, unattractive women. They're
Should
hot
I should I
lesbians.
point that they started the
Hot
movie?
lesbians, Alan. Hot
Look,
lesbians,
look,
Alan. Hot
they started the
lesbians,
movie
Alan.
with the lesbians doing the thing that Donald Trump got criticized for prior to the election with Billy Bush. So, I mean, and then
Wait,
this is
could you
my thing is
describe? Did you describe exactly what you're talking about? I want to
yeah.
make sure that we get that.
Oh, you
What?
gotta
So
put
the
me full
two
screen.
lesbians have a scene. What are they doing? What are they talking about?
They are grabbing each other's nether regions. Yeah. I'm not gonna say what Trump said, but it's essentially what Trump said.
All right. Well, I guess we just respectfully disagree. I really enjoyed the film. I think it's like part comedy, part like go for your dream film. And yes, it's a diverse cast. I'm sorry, Alan's not in favor of diverse. But first of all, I'll say this.
First of all, it's not a diverse cast.
No, but well, just no. Let me finish though. Diversity doesn't make a movie good. Diversity is not. I actually don't care if it's diverse. Fine, but tell me a good story. If it happens to be diverse, fine. But when they tout diverse as like a virtue of the film, that doesn't make a film good.
And I think they did that here.
No,
because of the choices they made and the characters that followed Keith Gill, to me that was an intentional take on diversity. And again, certain class of minorities non-represented in this movie.
All right, well, we'll get to that. All right, I'm recommending it. I give it a 7.5. Alan gives it a 4.
4, and I do not recommend it. No.
All right.